Anime Betrayal hurts more than death. Being abandoned by enemies is expected, but being betrayed by the people you trusted, by those who were supposed to protect you, that changes everything. In these stories, betrayal doesn't just break the characters. It forges something far darker. Heroes are discarded. Kindness is erased. And what rises from the aftermath is no longer the same person. Today, we're counting down the top 5 anime betrayals. Moments where trust was shattered and revenge was born. At number 5, we have Failure Frame.
Toka Mimori was summoned to another world along with his entire class, just like countless other heroes before him. They were told this world needed them, that they were chosen for greatness. At first, everything felt unreal. The palace, the magic, the goddess standing before them like a savior. Everyone believed they were about to begin a heroic journey. One by one, the goddess examined their abilities. As each classmate was praised, their confidence grew. They were ranked, celebrated, and promised special training. But when it was Toka's turn, the atmosphere changed. His skills were labeled low tier, abilities centered around status effects instead of raw power. In this world, those skills were considered failures. The goddess didn't argue. She didn't hesitate. The moment she deemed him useless, Toka stopped being human in her eyes. Without warning, without explanation, she made her decision. He would not be trained. He would not be protected. He would be erased. In front of everyone, his classmates, people he spent years with, Toka was condemned. Not a single person spoke up. Not one stepped forward. And just like that, he was cast into a forbidden dungeon, a place meant for monsters, poison, and death. A place no normal human was supposed to survive. As Toka fell into the darkness, reality finally set in. He hadn't just been abandoned. He had been betrayed by the goddess herself, and silently discarded by the people who watched it happen. Inside the dungeon, survival was impossible by normal standards. The air was toxic, the creatures were relentless. Every step forward meant risking death. Fear, confusion, and anger crushed him, but giving up meant dying. It was there, at the lowest point of his life, that Toka discovered the truth. His abilities weren't weak, they were simply unacceptable to those in power. Status effects like paralysis, poison, and instant death weren't flashy, but they were lethal. Forced to fight alone, Toka learned fast. He experimented, he adapted. Each enemy he defeated proved the goddess wrong. Each near-death experience stripped away his hesitation, and his kindness. And from that moment on, Toka Mimori made a silent vow. He would escape the dungeon. He would master the powers they feared. And when he returned to the surface, he would no longer beg for acceptance. The goddess believed she erased a failure. What she actually created was the one existence capable of killing her.
Number 4, My Gift Level, 9,999. Unlimited Gacha. Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon. I'm out for revenge. In this world, strength is everything, and weakness is punished without mercy. Hagan learned that lesson the hard way. Fighting as part of an adventuring party, Hagan believed in teamwork, loyalty, and trust. He risked his life in dungeons alongside people he thought were allies. People he believed would never turn on him. But behind their smiles, his party had already made a decision. To them, Hagane wasn't a companion anymore. He was a burden. Someone with a strange ability they didn't understand. Someone they believed could be replaced. Deep inside a remote backwater dungeon, far from civilization, far from rescue, they revealed their true intentions. Without warning, without hesitation, Hagane was betrayed. The people he trusted turned their backs on him, leaving him wounded and abandoned in the depths of the dungeon. This wasn't a moment of panic. It was planned. A deliberate backstab meant to erase him completely. Left alone in the darkness, surrounded by monsters, Hagan faced death head-on. His body was broken. His trust was shattered. And in that moment, he understood the truth of this world. Loyalty means nothing when power is involved. But what his betrayers failed to realize was that Hagan possessed a gift far beyond their understanding. A skill they mocked and underestimated. Unlimited Gacha. A power with no visible limit and no concern for balance. As Hagan struggled to survive, the Gacha activated again and again, granting him absurdly powerful weapons, rare items, and overwhelming abilities. Each pull pushed him further beyond normal adventurers. Each battle sharpened his resolve. The dungeon, meant to be his grave, became the place where Hagan was reborn. The man who once trusted others blindly was gone. In his place stood someone colder, someone who understood the rules of betrayal. Power decides everything, and those who betray deserve no mercy. From that moment on, Hagan made a single promise to himself. He would escape the dungeon. He would master his gift. And when he returned to the surface, He would hunt down the ones who betrayed him, one by one. His former party believed they abandoned a weak ally. What they actually created was a man with power beyond comprehension. And when Hagane finally stands before them again, there will be no forgiveness, only revenge. Number 3. My instant death ability is so overpowered. When Yogiri Takatu is suddenly thrown into another world, he quickly learns one rule above all else. Kindness is mistaken for weakness. Surrounded by people who pretend to be allies, Yogiri keeps his distance, calmly observing a world where betrayal is constant. Time and time again, those around him attempt to deceive him. They lie, manipulate, and abandon him the moment it benefits them. In this world, trust isn't broken once, it's broken repeatedly, without hesitation. Yogiri isn't framed or publicly humiliated. His betrayal is quieter, colder. People smile to his face, then turn on him the moment they believe he's harmless. What they fail to understand is that Yogiri possesses an ability that ignores all logic. No matter who stands before him, hero, monster, or god, one thought is enough to end their existence. Because of this power, Yogiri doesn't rage. He doesn't beg. He doesn't seek revenge out of emotion. He simply removes threats the moment betrayal reveals itself. Each act of deception is met with immediate consequence. No speeches, no mercy, no second chances. In the end, Yogiri doesn't chase revenge the way others do. He walks forward calmly, leaving behind a trail of people who believe they could betray him and live. Number 2, the Kingdoms of Ruin. In this world, witches once protected humanity. But the moment humans no longer needed them, they turned on them. One by one, witches were hunted, imprisoned, and publicly executed, labeled as monsters by the very people they saved. Adonis witnessed this betrayal firsthand. The woman who raised him, the person he loved, was executed right in front of him, not by enemies, but by humanity itself. In that moment, Adonis understood the truth. This wasn't fear. This was betrayal on a global scale. Stripped of mercy and consumed by hatred, Adonis chose revenge over forgiveness. Not against one kingdom, but against the entire human race that betrayed the witches. Humanity believed it destroyed its greatest threat. What it actually created was its own extinction. And finally, number 1, Gachiakuta. In Gachiakuta, betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from the society you're born into. A world divided between the privileged and the discarded, where lives are judged by status alone. Rudo lives at the very bottom of this world, feared, hated, and treated as trash, long before he's ever accused of anything. When a crime shakes the city, Rudo is framed without hesitation. No investigation, no mercy. The system he lives under decides his fate instantly. Guilty, simply because he exists. His punishment is absolute. Rudo is thrown into the pit, a massive abyss filled with humanity's discarded waste, and the people society has chosen to erase. This isn't exile, it's execution disguised as justice. But instead of dying, Rudo survives. And in the depths of the pit, he discovers a horrifying truth. The world above didn't just abandon him. It was built on betrayal from the very beginning. Surrounded by monsters, filth, and forgotten lives, Rudo's anger sharpens into purpose. He doesn't dream of escape anymore. He dreams of retribution. Because the people who threw him away believe the trash stays buried. What they don't realize is that they created something that refuses to stay discarded. And when Rudo finally climbs back up from the abyss, he won't be looking for forgiveness. He'll be coming to tear down the world that betrayed him. Betrayal isn't just a moment. It's the point where everything changes. Every character on this list was abandoned, erased, or discarded, and forced to become something else because of it. So the real question is, what does betrayal turn someone into? If you enjoyed this video, let me know which betrayal hit the hardest. Thanks for watching. And remember, betrayal always has consequences.